support it and help. I hope everybody's coming back. Hey, it has came back. Um, and hopefully everybody's subscribed by now that's watching this because it's sure going to help me with paying the bills at home so that I can keep mom in her house with all the problems I've been having. Hopefully there's enough viewers to even get me a small paycheck out of this. Or otherwise I'll have to change it to something else and YouTube probably won't like what it goes to. They don't like changes. I'm probably making them money doing this and I'm not making any money myself. So anyway, so here we go with the next one. You probably already know because it's probably in the front of the brick wall like I normally do, but we've got an action adventure comedy romantic love story with Harrison Ford and Anne Heck. It's 6 days, 7 nights. It's actually a pretty good comedy. It's funny, lots of romance. They do a pretty good job with the special effects. So I'll set the scene for you, then you can go on. Basically, a New York Times editor gets engaged at New York, and then they go on vacation to Fiji so that they can, or honeymoon. Then Harrison Ford is the pilot, and then they end up getting there with no problems because he's subbing. He's working on his plane when they meet him. They end up getting there, and then towards the end, he's a drunken Quinn. He ends up trying to fly her back to New York so that she can do some editing work, and they crash the plane and ended up on an island. And they're stuck there for whatever time it is that they're stuck there. They break a wheel, and then they got pirates and all kinds of things to deal with on the island. And then back on Fiji, her husband and his girlfriend are getting together. They run a search and flying over water and water and water and water. It's really funny how they put the dynamics in play here. New couple, old couple, meeting together and figuring out things and getting the money, half the money, all the arguments and behaviors and fights that normal couples have when they're meeting. They blow up an air balloon in the airplane or airboat or an inflatable boat in the airplane. One of them gets trapped behind it. It's actually kind of funny there. The way he dresses up to go hunting when he's on the island, that's good too. They end up getting birds to eat, which is pretty good. So somewhere along in the movie, they find a World War II plane that crashed on the thing, and a Japanese World War II plane, and they end up using the floats to put on the plane that he's got. And when the whole thing, they're running away from pirates. Pirate ship gets one of the pilot ships gets blown up. They make it back to, well, they may or may not make it back to the island. I'm gonna let you figure that out. Watch the whole thing. Now this is a funny movie. It's really good. I liked it. It's good comedy. It's good, clean fun. Definitely show it to the kids. They destroy planes. They blow up a lot of things. They roll down hills. They run along hills. They try to find things. A treasure hunt type movie. Lots of intrigue. I think this was going to be a shorter movie, shorter review, because going through that did slow me down. I think I might be rushing them too, who knows. But anyway, 6 days, 7 nights is a movie definitely worth watching. They didn't have to really do a lot of special effects in this, but they did some. Probably studio work, a lot of studio work. Now, this was based in Fiji and New York City, and the South Pacific is where the plane crashed, an island in the South Pacific. So they were gone for for the period of time, and they were searching, and the two, Harrison Ford and Anne Heck, their characters fell in love, or Quinny, and they fell in love on the island, but they never got any intimate contact, but they still, got very well attracted to each other. Then, towards the end, they break off the relationships, and they get a pretty good twist on who gets together with each other, and it turns out to be a pretty good movie. Harrison tries to stop the airplanes from taking off. They end up spending too much time on the beach. It really turned out to be a pretty good movie. It's funny. Yeah, it's funny in so many different ways that you're gonna have to. It's one of those movies you also have to pay real close attention to it, because it's gonna do some twists and turns and shock you on what gets going. So it's really pretty good. I'm gonna do this here. It was Buena Vista Pictures that put this thing out. It came out June 12th, 1989. It's an old movie. Probably don't really care about that. It's 102 minutes long. The budget was for somewhere between 65 million and 70 million. They made it to box office 164.8 million, which is not too bad. It made money, but it didn't make a lot. But I guess a little bit's better than none. So yeah, I definitely recommend you go watch this thing. It's a 5-star movie to me. Now, there's some that are going to get less, but this one didn't make that cut. So, we're going to go ahead and call this the day for this one, and we'll talk at you on the next one, either tomorrow or next week, depending upon when you're watching this. So we'll talk to you later. Bye now.